I think what sets Mountain's Edge apart from other facilities is the small amount of people that we cater to.
What makes Mountain's Edge different is the treatment approach of all the counselors, the different treatment approach, and the leadership we have behind us.
I think the biggest thing that sets us apart is our staff. You know, they're compassionate, they're caring, professionals.
I try to incorporate some older philosophies of treatment mixed in with some of the newer philosophies of treatment.
The American Psychiatric Association defines addiction in the DSM. They say addicts are people who essentially try to artificially activate the brain's natural reward system.
Addiction has a high relapse rate.
I like to use the definition in regards to addiction that's kind of close to the American Society of Addiction Medicines, which is, a chronic, progressive, and fatal disease that influences every aspect of life. And it's not just a loss of control in terms of the amount of drugs and alcohol that's consumed, but also a behavioral loss of control. And I think recovery is just the progressive ability to manage the symptoms of the disease. So I expect patients that are here on day one that they're managing things and situations differently at day 90, 120, or whatever day that they discharge.
The reason why a spiritual solution is required, and it's a spiritual problem, is because addicts can't think themselves into sobriety. If they could, it would have been solved a long time ago.
Being in a PHP is different than a residential setting.
An average day at PHP is very it's very structured, but there's also the opportunity to have some freedoms involved. So most clients wake up about 8:30 in the morning. They have breakfast on site. Once they're finished with breakfast, if they have any medication regimen that they attend to, they make sure that they're compliant with their medications. Clinical day starts at 9:30 in the morning.
What I like most about PHP is that it's an in-between between treatment and recovery. So you're getting treatment during the day, but then when the treatment day is over, you're starting to implement your own independent recovery.
We take advantage of the gym. We take advantage of actual AA meetings. We do a lot of activities both on the weeknights and the weekends.
Sometimes we're doing peer groups, sometimes we're doing didactic lectures, sometimes we're doing psychoeducation. At the end of the clinical day, patients have the option to go to a local gym and work out for about an hour, hour and a half, and then they go to a 12-step recovery meeting. And then they come back on site, they eat, they do a one small group at the end of the day just to reflect on what they did throughout the course of the day. Did their goals get met? Is there anything that they're struggling with? Are they going to bed with anything that they probably shouldn't be? And then it's rinse and repeat.
What makes long-term care so effective and what makes Mountain's Edge such an effective place to be is that we allow you to identify your habits, become self-aware of them, and then make changes consciously.
This is more in-depth and it prevents a relapse from occurring if you are engaged in this program.
It gives us more time to get to things that were missed. We can take advantage of different treatment approaches that you might not have available to you in short term.
I think long-term treatment is much more effective than the traditional 28 to 30-day model. Based on some of the science that has come out over the more recent years in terms of post-acute withdrawal, sometimes you don't even know what you're working with in terms of a patient until they start to present more as they go through the treatment process. We do a lot of family work here at the facility. We do in-person family sessions. I think that family work is something that has become a lost art in terms of substance abuse treatment.
What I would say to the family is, yes, this is like a scary process, but we include them in the process 100%. We do family sessions, we do passes when they get to that point in treatment. We incorporate them into their treatment plan.
90 days here is fun. We have activities, we go bowling, again, they take us to the gym. We have a lot more freedom of being normal, I guess you want to call it.
If you're not having fun getting sober, you're not doing it correctly.
I think that patients 100% have the availability to learn how to have fun in recovery, because really what they're trying to experience is the world in a different lens. So what we encourage is picking up activities that were abandoned through use.
So the property is really beautiful here. We're set on 100 acres. We're on Elk Mountain. The views are beautiful. It's peaceful. The surroundings are they're just wonderful.
In the summer, it's great. We do groups outside. We also take advantage through activities and stuff like that. So I mean, you can't beat the outside.
I've had to come up here late at night for one reason or another, and I could tell you at 2 o'clock in the morning, there is not a sound to be heard. And when you look up into the sky, it is absolutely breathtaking. The stars in the sky are brilliant. When I think of a success story that's walked through the doors of Mountain Edge, I think of a gentleman that I had the fortunate pleasure of meeting. And one of the things that was interesting about his case is he had a lot of different issues. He had anxiety, he had depression, and he struggled with these things the majority of his life. And there was a pivotal moment in treatment, and it wasn't actually something that was 100% uncovered by the clinical team, but it was more the patients, the peers. And he was having some real intrusive thoughts and some intrusive issues. And he relayed these to his peers, and the peers came to staff, and we got him the necessary supports and help that he needed. We involved the family from day one. So it was a collaborative approach from all these different aspects and all these different people. And to watch him progress through treatment, to getting out of treatment, to reestablishing employment, to dealing with his mental health issues, to reestablishing relationships with his family, it's nothing short of a miracle.
If you have a problem with addiction,
If there's someone in your family that's struggling with addiction,
Mountain's Edge is the place you would go if you really want to recover and get better.
we want to help you.
we can help.